Today there is important news from Armenia. Russia has openly warned that if Armenia continues removing Russian military and strategic influence from its territory, Moscow will respond with severe economic consequences, potentially devastating key sectors of the Armenian economy. This marks a decisive escalation in the relationship between the two countries. For years, Russia positioned itself as Armenia's primary security guarantor. However, after losing credibility in that role, Moscow is now shifting strategy. Instead of maintaining influence through protection and cooperation, it is increasingly turning Armenia's remaining dependencies, economic, infrastructural, and strategic, into leverage. This shift sets the stage for a much more direct and confrontational phase between the two sides. The latest escalation followed a Kremlin meeting between Vladimir Putin and Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. After that meeting, Russian Deputy Prime Minister Alexei Overchuk delivered Moscow's message in unusually blunt terms. Armenia was told it cannot move toward deeper integration with the European Union while simultaneously retaining the economic privileges it enjoys within the Eurasian Economic Union. Putin reinforced this position by stating clearly that these two integration paths are incompatible. In other words, Armenia is being forced to choose. If it continues pushing Russian influence out, Moscow will respond not diplomatically, but economically. This signals a major shift. Russia is no longer trying to keep Armenia aligned through incentives, but by raising the cost of breaking away to a level that could become unbearable. This pressure did not emerge in a vacuum. Armenia had already begun reducing Russian control on the ground. Russian border guards were withdrawn from key checkpoints, especially as Armenia prepared for the possible reopening of its border with Turkey. This is not just a symbolic move, it represents a strategic reorientation. For Moscow, this was a clear signal that Armenia is no longer merely distancing itself politically, but is actively dismantling Russian influence in areas that were once considered critical to regional control. Control over borders, especially in the South Caucasus, has long been one of the Kremlin's most important tools of influence. From that point onward, Russia's tone shifted noticeably. What had previously been pressure behind closed doors became open warnings and threats. The next major flashpoint is the 102nd Russian military base in Gyumri. Accusations that the base interfered in Armenian domestic politics, including elections, have transformed it from a security asset into a political liability for the Armenian government. This base represents one of Russia's last major military footholds in Armenia. Losing it would significantly weaken Moscow's ability to directly shape developments inside the country. As public and political resistance to the base grows, its continued presence becomes increasingly difficult to justify. The deeper reason Armenia appears willing to risk such confrontation lies in recent history. During the Azerbaijani offensives and the collapse of Artsakh, Russia failed to deliver the protection Armenia expected. Despite having troops on the ground, formal alliance mechanisms through the CSTO, and extensive military infrastructure, Moscow did not intervene in a way that altered the outcome. This failure fundamentally changed perceptions in Armenia. Prime Minister Pashinyan openly pointed to the CSTO's inaction at a decisive moment, effectively breaking the political understanding that had justified Russia's presence for decades. After that, Russian forces no longer appeared as protectors, but increasingly as a burden, something Armenia had to host without receiving real security benefits in return. If you found this analysis helpful and want to stay informed about the deeper forces shaping global conflicts, thank you for watching. Your support really makes a difference. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next updates, especially as this situation continues to evolve. And if you have your own perspective on what Armenia should do next, share it in the comments below. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.